Yo, what's up, guys? We're gonna do a little bit of film analysis of some of my students today. Before we do that, let's go ahead and check everything, make sure everything is running smoothly. I think this is gonna be really good for y'all because I think it's gonna show, a lot of basic stuff, or not basic, but mid-level concepts that I think 90% of pickleball players are missing. Um, So before I get started, if you're watching the replay, you can fast forward through all this. Before I get started, I want to make sure everything is running right. So just give me a second. Perfect. Hmm. All right, I think we're actually ready to rock and roll. So yeah, we're going to be breaking down student gameplay today to kind of try to help everybody out. These students were nice enough to allow me to kind of stream this, so you all can benefit from what we're looking at. Film study is really important. It's one thing to watch yourself, or not watch yourself, but it's one thing to play the game and then think, oh, I could have done this better, I could have done that better. However, what actually ends up happening is you really only remember the last shot that you hit. You don't remember the shot before that. And I have students a lot of times say, man, that last shot, what do I do there? And I'm like, it's not that last shot. It was the shot before that that kind of set you up for failure for this last shot. And honestly, there's not much you could have done. You just try to get the ball back, but it wasn't the shot you just hit, it was the shot before that. And if you're not watching film, you actually can't see that breakdown. And watching film's a lot easier than people realize. I mean, got a phone, buy a $17 tripod off of Amazon, and just film yourself playing. So it's really a lot easier than you think. So let's actually go ahead and jump into it today and see what we can see. All right. So this is one of our lessons. Fast forward through to about actually, I'm gonna have to find some different film real quick. So just bear with me.
Oh, good shot, knees. Good.
I can do some film here. Yeah, it's taking a second to download, but once it gets downloaded, we can get started.
Yeah, yeah. Because you have to get under the ball, and if the ball's so low, it's really hard to get under.
All right, here we go. All right, so we'll run actually 2 of them, and then we'll use whichever one works best for us. So this is going to take just a second to download, so we're just going to pause until then. All right, cool. All right, let's run with this video. Nope, wrong video. Apologies, it's going to take a little bit longer to download that. While that's happening, I'm actually going to, I don't know why my TV's acting like that. I'm going to work on some other stuff. If you guys have questions, you can certainly drop them in the chat. I'm happy to answer them. All right, we are all set up and ready to go. Good deal. Open this real quick. Nice. All right, let's try that again. All right, now we're ready to rock and roll. Here we go. All right, perfect. All right, so we got some just students playing games here in one of our lessons. In our lessons, we do a lot of gameplay to kind of incorporate. All right, let's watch. Good on the return. Good, good, good. All right, let's watch that back real quick. All right, so a couple things here. Good return and run, or a good return here, really deep. Got to make sure we return and run and don't pause. So make sure we return and run up. So creeping in here just a little bit. So creeping in and then having to backpedal. Make sure that you don't creep in. You just wait to recognize that ball so that you can actually hit something clean. If you're going to back up, you're probably going to miss it quite a bit and miss hit. Good step in right here. Great shot. And then great job right here of just resetting this ball. Under a lot of pressure from this shot right here. And we're just going to try and reset it. Okay. Landed it right in the kitchen so we can move straight up. Really nice. Good. And now we're just aiming for the feet. That's what you're basically doing when you dink, is aiming for the feet. Good get here. So as we're moving up, and there's a lot going on here, but I'm really only going to kind of comment on the things that my students are actually working on. So that's actually a good get right there. Another good get. We just got to hit these balls really soft. Good soft balls here. Good. And just a miss hit into the net. Really nice. Really nice point right there. Way to get right up to the kitchen. Good serve. Return. Ooh, just out of bounds. Oh, it was played. So make sure we don't give up on the ball here. Just because we think it's out, run up. And we've talked about how come up here anyway. Run up here anyway. You have to start here for the next serve, right? So you might as well just go ahead and run up. Good get here, and then good placement right down the line. Right here, make sure that we move in and actually close that gap. We talked about that today a little bit. If you feel a gap between you and your partner, make sure you move in and close it. And that's just anywhere, anytime. Good serve. Good. Don't stop halfway. Right here, we got to get all the way up. Even on a short return, just keep going. Good shot here, right down the middle, right at the feet. Perfect shot, perfect shot. And that's why we don't want to stop is we expose our feet. We need to get right up to this kitchen line. One of the many reasons. Make sure we're returning and running. Oh, just out. So we've been working a lot on topspin. And so I've been really encouraging them to use topspin on their serves. So we're going to see quite a few serves go out here. Great serve. Good, 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 good. So just hitting and waiting to see what that ball is going to do. It's more of a drive here, so you can't move up at all. You guys wait. You see the ball. You move up. You pick it up. Make sure it lands in the kitchen. And if it's going to land in the kitchen, you can move all the way up. Really great job here. Really great job. Good. Let's see right here. So we want to take bigger slides here so that we don't have to cross our right foot over our left, because when we do, it puts us in a really bad spot to actually be able to get back. The only time we should cross a foot over the other foot is if we really just can't get to it. Like they've hit a really, really good shot. And that was a really good shot, but I think we could have shuffled there to get to that ball. And then it was a good drop. Good pickup right here. Let's actually watch this. So he talks about this today. So paddles down here just a little bit. I actually want you to pull this paddle up. That way when the ball gets up here, you just hit down on it instead of hitting from the side. Probably hit about right there, and we're hitting down. So if we have our paddle down, we have to kind of bring it up in an arc. If we already have it up, pow, right there. Not bad. And let's actually watch everyone's paddle ready position here. Good. Paddles up, really good. Paddle up still, good. So we've got our paddle to the side instead of, we've kind of got our, instead of having it up here, we've kind of got it here. We want to have it right here. And then if we can have our paddle up right here, like I said, we're just going to hit down on that ball. All right, so we hit from the side, hit from the body. We want to hit out in front of us. It's not too far behind us, but it's pretty close. Okay, good. We have our paddle. Let's see if we get our paddle back up here. Paddle down. Good. So let's watch this right here. So paddle to the side here. And then we don't want to come down and up. We want to come from here and go straight up and hit. So that way we don't have to come from beside us and hit the ball right beside us instead. We want to hit it in front, right? Really good try, though. Really good try. And remember, guys, the biggest thing is the first person to get a low ball is going to win. So this ball's high. This ball is high. High ball above the waist, right? Low ball below the waist. This ball hit back is high. And then we have one ball low. So while we have these balls flying in the air, we need to make sure we're trying to get low. Not bad. Good serve. Return. Good shot. Okay, so we were talking about this today also in lesson. So coming from behind, you can see it right here. We actually want to contact this ball right about there, right in front of us. That way we can get more power on the shot. But really the most important part is, as we're working on topspin, is actually being able to get wrist rotation. If we hit from back here, our wrist rotation is going to be kind of funky. We want to hit from right here, okay, instead of from like back here. But it's a great shot nonetheless. Sometimes even with bad mechanics, we get good shots. So good, has a ton of topspin on it. Good, we want to hit and stop, so we have to hit and stop. On drives, we have two options on our third shot, right? So this is our third shot. This is 1, then 2, then 3. So on our third here, we have two options, drive or drop. If we're going to drive and hit a hard ball, then we have to stop where we are. If we're going to drop, then we can hit and move up potentially, as long as it's a good ball, right? A good ball being a ball below the waist at contact. Okay, so here, now we can scoot up, grab this ball. So what I'm looking for here is another drop to land this in the kitchen, and then to move all the way up to the kitchen, right? See if we can get it. Up, high ball. Okay, ball above the waist at contact. All right. So here, this is what we're talking about today. You have to stay. So when this ball is hit, we have to stop. Wait on the ball. Now the ball's high. Okay, so this ball's got to get low. So we have a high ball here. Hit high ball's hard, low ball's soft. High ball hard and down at the feet. Always aiming at the feet. Okay, so this ball's high and out of bounds. Not bad. Not bad. Not a bad point. So when we're in volley battles, just make sure that we're actually focused on getting the ball down. Return. Good drive. Okay, so right here, I don't want you to creep in. The pros, at the pro level, they creep in because they know the third's going to be good. We're not quite there, right? We need to wait and see if our third is going to be good from our partner. So we actually need to be where our partner is when they hit the ball. After they hit the ball, you make the judgment for yourself. If it's a low ball, a ball at the waist or below at contact, you can move up. If it's above, then you have to actually stay back. Okay, so what I want is for you to stay back right here, parallel with the person hitting the shot, especially on a drive. On a drive, we have to just stay. Remember, on a drop, we can hit and maybe move up. If it's a good shot, stay back if it's a bad one. But we actually have to stay the whole time on a drive. So you have to stay back here. Okay, this ball is here, and then we want to drop this ball as well, and then move right up to the kitchen if we can. Okay, great shot. Okay, this is a 1 in a million shot right here because we're hitting this ball hard. This ball's low. It's below our waist at contact. We have to hit this ball soft and land it in the kitchen. Remember, our goal is the feet. Our goal is the feet. Okay? So, hit it, and not a bad shot. Way to get the ball back. This ball is low. And because we didn't hit a drop, we hit more of a drive, we have to stay where we are. So this ball's fast, so we have to stay where we are so we don't get beat. If we stay right here on this shot, if we stay right here, we can probably stop and go get this ball. You probably have time to react and go get this ball. Okay, as it is, because we're moving when we drive, we're not able to. So even here in the middle of the transition zone, okay, we actually have to hit soft shots. Or let me say it a different way. Even in the middle of the transition zone, if you drive a ball, you cannot move up. Okay, you have to stay still. So the rules, it's a lot more difficult. The return team's really easy. One person starts at the kitchen line, the other person starts at the baseline. They run right up. On the serve team, the rules are different. Okay, if you hit a drive, you cannot move. You have to stay where you are. Then you play the ball that comes back. Right. If you hit a drop, you can move up, but only if you hit a low ball. Your opponents contact the ball at a low point. Then you can move up. And we talked about moving up halfway. That's not the full rule, but it's a good intermediate rule. The true rule is a little bit more advanced. So you move up halfway, right? And then if you hit another good drop and land it below the waist at contact, meaning it either lands in the kitchen or they hit up on the ball, you can move up. Okay, so let's go actually back through these rules real quick. All right, the rule is drive, can't move up, so we got to stay back here. Okay, so drive, boom. Okay, if we drive again, can't move up. Drive, sit. So this is actually a good example. Drive, stay where you are, wait. When they hit the ball, if it's short, go get it. You can move up then. Go get it. Perfect. Way to go get it. Now, we have to drive and stay still again so that we're not getting beat by the ball, right? Now, had you dropped either of those and hit a good drop, you can move up. If you'd hit a bad drop, you got to stay back. But those are the rules on how to move up in serve on serve team, okay? And those are the rules in action, all right? So return. Okay, short return. This is why returns are so important. The transition or the serve team's going to start halfway up. They didn't have to hit a drop from back here, then move up halfway, and then hit another drop. They got to start halfway up. Half of your job is already done with a short return. That's why we got to hit long returns. Okay, so let's see what shot this is. This is a drive. This is a drive. So when we hit this, we got to stay still. Okay, but we're moving up. Oh, we start to slow down. That's so good. Good slow down. Good shot. Now let's see why this shot. So first thing, paddle down. Got to have paddle up. And then just a miss hit. That was it. That was it. Good. Good return. Really great deep return. Okay, so here we start to move in again, take a false step in, and then have to take a step back, and puts us on our back foot to hit the ball. We're very unlikely to hit a good ball. So make sure that when we're serving, we're not taking a false step in. Okay? Make sure that we are actually stopping where we need to stop. I do not know what's going on with my AirPlay today. Guys, so make sure when you serve, you just stay where you are and don't move until you recognize the ball. So here's a serve. We didn't get to see that. Let's actually back that up. Here's a serve. This is our last point, return. About right. Pro level players are probably going to recognize the ball right here and start to move into position. Advanced level players hopefully are hitting it here. Beginner, intermediate, or intermediate probably here. Beginner here. Okay, so we've got to, by the time the ball gets to at least right here, we've got to recognize it and then start to move toward the ball. Okay, that way There's two important aspects of hitting a good ball: your swing mechanic and your footwork. Okay, you can have the best swing mechanic in the world, but if the ball is super out in front of you or super to the right or to the left or behind you, you're not going to hit a good ball. Okay, and also, if the ball's right in front of you, but you have a bad swing mechanic, you're not going to hit a good ball. You have to have both. You have to have that ball in your strike zone. Your strike zone being out in front of you about a foot, and to your outside shoulder on your forehand. On your backhand, it's a foot, and then to the inside of your shoulder, right about here. Okay, so we have to move our feet to get in the right spot. And so when we take false steps in, it delays us in getting to the spot where we need to be. Ideally, when we're hitting the ball out of the air, you're always wanting to hit a foot out in front. Where you contact, up here, wherever, is kind of up in the air, pun intended. But when the ball bounces, which always bounces on the first two shots, it's going to be a serve bounce, return bounce, at least. Okay, those shots we have to account for the bounce. Okay, so we actually need to be set by the time the ball bounces, and then when it bounces, we're set and it's bouncing right up into our strike zone. Okay, if you've done that, you're 1 for 2. Then you have to put your right swing mechanic in, and you're 2 for 2, and that's how you start hitting more and more accurate balls. That was a good serve. Serve. Return. Good. Great ball recognition. Let's watch this ball recognition. Let's see where we recognize it at. So hit right there. Oh my gosh. Incredible ball recognition right here. So by both players. Really good. Way before the net. That was so good. Great drop. There's nothing you can do here with this except drop the ball. If you try to hit it's a low ball below the waist at contact. Here's the waist. If you try to hit this ball hard, which is what so many players do, you're going to hit this ball in the net or out of bounds. Or if you don't hit it out of bounds and you hit it soft enough to keep it in bounds, you're going to hit the ball high. Okay? So we have to hit this ball soft. I said if you hit it soft enough. If you don't hit it so hard that you hit it out of bounds, but you hit it hard enough to keep it in play, you're going to leave the ball high. We have to hit this ball soft. Low ball soft. Okay? So we come here, low ball soft. It's the only option you have. Okay? Soft, land this in the kitchen, move all the way up and start dinking. Okay? This ball's high at contact, above the waist, so we have to hit down on this ball. Ball high, staying high, try to get the ball down. That's low. Good. Okay, now, we did not return and run here, so we returned and stopped. Again, full run. And this is why. Because if someone does this, you're back here. Whereas if you were up here, you could reach in and take that ball about right here. It's above you. It's above your waist. So you could attack with this ball. Unfortunately, here you got to be defensive. Now, ball's low. Got to be really soft here. Land this at the feet or in the kitchen or before the feet, right? So land it. Hard shot. Out of bounds. Okay. Now, if you can hit this ball hard and get it below someone's waist, that's good. But it's going to be rare for that to happen, okay? One other thing, real quick. When this ball is high and we hit this ball here, it's down, move up and take that kitchen line. Move up and take that kitchen line immediately so they can't hit your feet, and any ball that they do hit is going to stay high on you. The further you are from the kitchen line, the more that ball can drop and become a low ball. We don't want low balls, we want high balls, right? So make sure we're taking as much ground as possible when it makes the most sense. Serve, return and run. Don't wait. So we're waiting back here. Great shot. Okay, so immediately hit the returner, right? We always want to hit the returner, okay? For multiple reasons that we've gone over before. All right, so hit the returner here, move all the way up. Now, here I wouldn't move up. I would not move up unless I notice they're in the back, which you might, and I know my partner's going to be able to hit this shot. I don't know my partner's going to be able to hit this shot. She actually has to clear this person right here and land it in. So I wouldn't move up, because what if she hits a high ball? Okay, had she hit this ball to this person right here, this person's going to get hit. Okay, because you always hit the person furthest away from you when you don't have a ball you can attack. Okay, they're further away. It's going to be harder for them to get the kitchen. When you get a ball you can attack, you immediately hit the person in front of you because they have less time to react. Okay, so a couple of good things to watch here. All right, great move up, and you move up because this person's all the way in the back, right? The normal move up rules don't apply because they're all the way in the back. Good. Now go up, take the kitchen. Really nice. All right, we got to land this ball in the kitchen right here. Really good. Okay, so there's a temptation here to hit this ball hard. You can't. If you hit it hard, we're giving them a high ball, hitting the ball out of bounds, or hitting the ball in the net. Okay, so we just lay it up. Good soft ball. Good. Right on the kitchen line. 3 feet off, or 3 inches off rather. Right here. Good. Great. Okay, so now we get the high ball. Okay, so pickleball is just low ball after low ball after low ball. Right? So when we get a low ball here, hit this softly, softly, because if the truth in pickleball is the first person to hit a high ball is the person that's going to lose the rally, then it only makes sense that what do you want to hit? Low balls. So just hit, that's pickleball. Hit low ball after low ball after low ball. Ball below the waist at contact over and over and over. You're rarely going to lose a match. And that's why the pros are the pros, is because they consistently do that. You can actually measure your success as a player based on how many low balls you can hit in a row before you hit a high ball, right? So we are hitting a low ball here to give our opponent another ball to see if they'll hit a high ball. Okay, here we hit this high ball. Fantastic smash. Okay, now let's talk about why this was a high ball. It's because we hit a low ball hard, right? If we hit a low ball hard, it can only go in the net, out of bounds. Okay, and if it doesn't go in the net, which this one doesn't, and it doesn't go out of bounds, which this one won't, it'll stay in. Didn't hit it hard enough to go out of bounds, it's going to stay high and give someone a high ball. Okay, so bam. Great shot, low ball, great get, another low ball, so good. Really good, guys. That's a really good point. Really good point. Good point to learn from. Good. I'm not sure what happened there. I think it was called out of bounds. All right, here we go. Oh, that was out of bounds as well. Working on our top spin serves. Looks good. Good. Oh, I just out of bounds. Great serve. Let's go back and watch that serve. Boom. Good serve. Good serve. Top spin makes the ball a little unpredictable too. It bounces. Sometimes it bounces low. Sometimes it bounces really low. It's just a good thing to have in your arsenal. Okay, so a lot of not returning and running. We got to make sure we return and run, okay? All right, so we got here. If your opponent does not return and run, you ignore, as a serve team, you ignore this person and you hit the person in the back because that means you can easily transition up, okay? Easily transition up. Great step in to protect your partner, okay? If your partner's behind you and you can step in and block for them, that's good. Now we leave this ball a little high. Okay, great drop because this ball is going to get low at contact, very low at contact. So we have to hit this ball soft. We cannot hit this ball high. Our goal right here is to get this ball at their feet. Let's see if we do it. We leave this ball a little high above the waist. Okay, so this is a high ball. We attack this ball. Good attack. Great choice. If the goal is to get the ball to the feet and the net is blocking the feet. Okay, the further you are from the net, the more exposed your feet are. This person's feet, definitely protected. This person's feet, not. Okay, so we're going to hit their feet. Now, we got to hit this ball. This is a little reset. This is what we worked on today. This is our reset right here. Right here, soft. This ball's low. It's not high, so we can't attack. We have to hit it soft and land it where? Land it in the kitchen. Okay, really we want to land it at their feet, but if we can land it in front of their feet while we're trying to move up off the line, that's even better. When people are at the line, you are aiming for their feet or in the kitchen so you can move up to the kitchen. If your opponents are, or sorry, if you're at the kitchen line, you're trying to, actually, sorry, let me think about this. How to best describe this. Yes, it's where your opponents are, okay? If your opponents are at the kitchen line, you've got to land it in the kitchen before their feet. If they are off of the kitchen line, we're always aiming directly for the feet, Okay? Think about it like this. If they're at the kitchen line, we want to hit their feet, but we want to hit so far in front of their feet that it bounces in the kitchen. This isn't true when they're back here because it's very easy when you make it easy on people. Um, Actually, you could just hit the feet. Now, you could just forget the kitchen, say, we're going to hit the feet. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, just always aim for the feet. Always aim for the feet. And if you hit in front of the feet, even better. Or not even better, but that's better. I got to figure out actually how to kind of talk about that because when you're trying to transition, you do need to land it in the kitchen and get it in front of their feet. When you are dinking, it's the same. When you are in transition defense is the only time. Okay. So the only time this changes, if you're not when you're not aiming for the feet, man. Yeah, actually, I really got to think about that. Forget that for now. I'm gonna have to think about that. But we've got to reset this ball. We've got to hit this ball soft instead of hitting it up. So we talked about the rule of 10. Okay, if this ball is hit, one being with no speed, 10 being as hard as you possibly can. Okay, if this ball's hit like a 7 or an 8, this is probably a 7 out of 10 here. We got to return with a 3. If they hit with a 3, we have to return with a 7. If they hit with a 6, we have to return with a 4. If they hit with a 9, we have to return with a 1. It's about a 7. We have to hit with a 3 here. Okay, this was probably about a 5 or a 6, and that's going to leave the ball really, really high. So bam, we hit it high. We don't want to give high balls. Okay, we get a little lucky here because I think that ball might land in. I'm going to say it's going to be out. Okay, but we go ahead and play it. Ball's high. First person to get the ball low is going to win, and the ball's just out. Okay. Serve. Serve was in. Great serve. Great return and run. Good. Way to get up there. Even faster if you can manage it. All right, let's walk this back. Great defense near the feet. That's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for the feet. Okay. Here, we want to land this in the kitchen if we can. Great ball. This ball in the kitchen means that they're not going to be able to attack us. We can move up. Okay, move up about right here. Okay, this ball right here, we're aiming for the feet. Okay, do not leave this ball high. If we leave this ball high above their waist, they will attack us. Okay, so we got to aim for the feet here. We get it in front of the feet. Not bad. We can maximize a little bit more pressure by getting it at the feet. Okay, we got to drop this ball in at the kitchen. Perfect. Low ball. Great. And now we're dinking, keeping balls low and unattackable. So low, good. Low, good. Ooh, a little high. A little high. Not too high, but this ball, she drops at contact and is able to get this ball. Now, it's really not about your waist. It's more about the net. This ball, so when I say above the waist or below the waist, I really actually am talking about the net. This ball is below the net. Okay? So this ball is not an attackable ball. Okay? Very dangerous with skilled players. The lower you are, the more you can get away with it. Okay? But we just want to be smart now. So attack ball. This ball is high. Okay? This ball is above the net or above the waist at contact right here. Here's the net probably. It's hard to tell at this angle. Here's the waist. That's why I use the waist, is it's very similar to the net most very often. It's easier to see it on someone's body than it is probably drawing a line from the net, right? So one big thing here, dink, paddle up. Paddle up. Okay, that way, as soon as that ball comes, bam, we can hit it. Okay, we end up hitting this ball up. Now, if paddle is up, we're going to end up hitting down on the ball versus bringing our paddle up and hitting, which caused us to hit up. Okay, remember, first person to hit a ball low when we're volleying back and forth is going to win. Get this ball low. Can't do it yet. This ball is low. Good. Now, right here, paddles down a little bit. I want us to bring it back up. Good. And I don't want us to drop it. So whatever path we're going to swing on, if we're going to swing like this, then we need to bring the paddle back like this versus bringing it down, then coming up and hitting. We want to bring the paddle back on the plane that it's going to go down on. Okay? So if we want this hit here, so where we hit here, then we need to bring the paddle back here and hit this. If we want to hit this shot, then we need to bring the paddle back here and hit this shot. Okay? So that's why paddle ready is so important. Okay? So we're coming under the ball a little bit here, but let's get this ball down. Ball stays high. Okay, these principles are going to help us get these balls low. Let's get this ball low. Ball stays high. First person get the ball low. Ball low. Good. Now we fall in the kitchen there. That's all right. Ball low, ball high, because a low ball is either going to win it or get another high ball to win it. So here's another high ball. Get this ball low. Good. And that's the winner. Okay? See how important that is. Make sure when we're in a volley exchange, first person to get the ball low. Good. Return and run. Don't stop. Short return. Short returns catch people every once in a while. Yep. Yep. Great shot. Great shot. Oh, good try, good try, good try. All right, so we got a backhand drop here. Make sure we're running all the way up. Let's actually look at why the return and run was late. So oh, it's inside, which brings our momentum back this way, right? Give me 1 second. Brings it back this way, okay? So as we're hitting this ball, we have to restart our momentum forward. The easiest thing to do here is make sure we hit with our backhand. We're working on our backhand stuff, or that's in the works. So now we got to move all the way up. Okay, we got to go all the way up as fast as possible. Let's watch it again. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Close, very close. If we hadn't had to move our momentum this way, we would have had it. Okay, let's talk about this backhand drop here. I've been watching a lot of backhand drops recently. Biggest thing on the backhand drop is don't bring your paddle back at all. If you watch the pros, okay, if you watch the pros, they are going to have their paddle here, all right, and they are going to move through the ball versus taking a backswing and hitting through. They're going to literally set their paddle right here and just kind of come through. Okay, so that is going to be the most important part of, or not the most important part, but the starting spot, okay, for actually being able to hit a good backhand. Okay, also when we hit, let's go back. Also when we hit, we want to hit in and come up. Okay, so the paddle starts here at this angle and then kind of either finishes here or finishes flat almost. Okay, so here, all right. If we end up hitting like this and keeping it there, that ball's probably not going up at all. A drop, remember, has arc and lands in. It's probably not going up at all. It's probably going in and right into the net. Okay, so we got to be able to lift it just a little bit. All right. So that ball goes right in the net. And we have to hit a little softer, of course, as well. Remember, balls that are hard, they're not going to get up over the net necessarily. Okay, that's not true. That's a really complicated thing to talk about. But again, it all depends on where the ball is. Okay, so this ball low. Okay, low ball have to hit up and soft. Up to get the ball up and over the net. Right, and this ball is actually a little high. You probably could have drove it, but we're not driving with our backhands right now. It's because it's a really difficult shot. And a drop is just going to be way more consistent for you. But we want to get up and under that ball, give it a little bit of arc. Remember, about 7 feet. 7 feet of an arc is good, and we're going to drop it right in the kitchen and move up. Okay. Serve, return. Ooh, just out. That's all right. We've been watching topspin, so let's actually look here what happens with the topspin. Okay, so remember with that topspin, what we actually want to do, the paddle is finished here, I believe. Remember, we actually want it up. Okay, so that follow through, we're going to hit and only use our wrist. We're going to keep our wrist cocked the entire time. Wrist to finish here, which means our elbow has to come up. So we've got our little wrist action, right? We wrist and then come all the way up here. All right, perfect. All right, so just out of bounds. That's all right. Paddle face, obviously, paddle face is up on that versus being at the correct angle. Anytime you hit a ball out of bounds, the paddle face was up. Anytime you hit the ball in the net, it was too far down, right? We want to get it right. And different balls call for different things. A low ball, you're going to have to open the paddle up just a little bit to get up over the net. High ball, we got to hit down on it, right? So we got to hit down here. It all depends on where the ball is or where the ball is when you are contacting it, okay? Serve, return, good. So here, high ball. We're giving a high ball. So this ball is low. It's a low ball. We've got to drop it. Can't drive it. Okay? So drop it. We drive. We give a high ball. Remember, first person to give a high ball normally loses. And I think this ball was just in a spot where it was a little uncomfortable to where it actually got hit into the net. Good try. Serve, return. Really good. Okay, ball low. We don't want to drive this ball. Okay. At higher levels, we can drive it because we can hit with topspin, get the ball up and down because this person's in the back. Okay. But here at this level, well, I just said that, and that would have been a low ball, so that's good. But it's that'd have been low. That's fine. That's a fine shot. Okay. But if this person is at the net at the kitchen line, which they should be on return and run, that's why return run is so important. If they were, that ball's a high ball. Okay, that's why it's so important to be up because this ball is a high ball. And remember, first person to hit a high ball or first person to give someone a high ball is probably going to lose, which means the first person to get a high ball is probably going to win. Here, you're in a position to win. Here, position to lose if you're that far back because this ball is definitely below the net at contact. Okay, so make sure that we're returning and running. That's probably one of the biggest things. Great return and run. Way to get right up there. So it's position of strength, right? You got two people here. There's no one in the back. They have to work really hard to transition right now. Okay. High ball. So let's see how we hit this. This ball is low, unattackable, so we have to hit a nice little drop. We hit this ball hard, so it leaves a ball high. Okay. And then I trust you to finish that next time. Or just in general, really. So that was a tough ball. That was a lucky ball that we hit, and it didn't get put right back on us. Great return and run. Best return and run yet. So hit, move on up. Really nice. Now, we're creeping in on our serve just a little bit. Okay, so we hit, we take steps in. If this ball still steps in, if this ball gets returned to the baseline, have to definitely back up. So we have to back up here anyway because we need to take the ball at the apex. Every shot taken at the apex except for a drop, let the drop get to the apex and come slightly down. Okay. So this ball is likely going to be high, right? Because we're taking it off the bounce. Balls off the bounce typically go high. Okay. So this ball is high. Yep. Given a high ball. Can't give the high ball. All right. Good attack. Hit the ball back at their feet. Good. Really soft. This is that reset we talked about. Okay, so we got to get it a little lower and a little softer. This ball hit at about a 5. We have to return this with a 5. We may have returned it a little hard, probably with a 6 or a 7. Now, you don't think it's a 6 or a 7 because you don't see a big swing, a big follow through. Follow through isn't necessarily, I can follow through slowly or hit quickly and not follow through. And the one I hit quick is going to have more power on it than the one I follow through. So we're not necessarily looking for follow through, although follow through can indicate power. We punch this ball pretty hard here, and that's why it sails, and it sails high. Also, our paddle angle was very high. We were up here versus, I'm sorry, we were up here versus down here, like this. Paddle angle is everything. So then we hit this another high ball. If we keep giving them high balls, they're going to win. So what do we have to do? We have to reset here. We talked about this today. We have to reset. Okay? We have to reset this ball and not hit a hard ball. Now, you can get away with it every once in a while. And this ball is just an incredible shot. Okay? But 9 times out of 10, this ball is going to be high. That was just a great shot. Let's just watch this in real time. I want you to reset this ball, but that's a good emergency ball. And just got it over. But 9 times out of 10, that's not going to work. But it's a great shot. Good return and run. Way to get right up there. Now, here's a good shot. Okay, we can drive this ball. It's very low. It's also too low. I would have dropped it. However, you're far enough away from the net. This is where it gets complicated. You're far enough away from the net for that ball to get up and get down. Okay? So, it just gets over. That's a great shot. Okay? Great shot. Oh, perfect finish. So here, when we get this ball right here, we've got to aim for the feet. And we've got to hit soft. We hit it too hard, we leave the ball up. High ball, low ball. It's a high ball. We hit hard, and oh, almost set yourself up. That was so good. But let's actually go back and watch the transition here. So here, our momentum when we hit this drive is going to carry us forward, but we need to get set. Almost set. Now, if we had been set the entire time here, I think we put this ball away. But because we're still moving forward, it puts us a little off balance and a little late. When we're moving into the ball, we have to be quicker to close the paddle. If the ball is just coming to me, then I can close it on time. When I'm coming to the ball like this, I need to close earlier. Because if I close on time, like I guess this right here, that ball's high. But if I'm waiting on the ball, I close on time. Right? As you're moving to the object, you have to move quicker. So we need to be set. Need to be set on that drive. Remember, on your third, you can drive, but you have to stop. You can drop, and then you can potentially move. But you have to make sure it's a good ball before you move. Good. Great drop. Great job. Let's watch this again. Return. Good. Return and run. Don't stop. Keep going. Just keep going. Keep going. Great drop. So let's watch this. Ball's low. I do want you to back up a little bit on this so that the ball gets to the apex and drops down. Okay. Drops down. Little drop. Lands right in the kitchen. Great. We are aiming for the feet. And great drop. Great drop. We are aiming for the feet. Okay. Aiming for the feet. That was so good. Good. Oh, don't stay in the back. Yep. Now, partner tried to help here. But it's in the middle. It's going to be a hard ball to get. Hard ball to get. That's why we have to return and run. Make sure we return and run. Let's see. Let's see here. Shots hit. That's going to be a great shot. But if we're at the line, we can hit this ball right here. It's right here. Okay. If we're back, this ball is now where? At our feet. And that's where we don't want to get hit. We want to hit our opponents in the feet, and the reason we want to hit them in the feet is because it's their most vulnerable spot. So then we don't want to get hit in the feet, right? Okay. Perfect. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for us today. A lot of really good information there. These concepts in pickleball are huge. It's so funny from probably up to a 4 or 5 level. If you can incorporate basic principles that do take a little bit of time to get down. If you watch film, you'll get it down much quicker. But if you can incorporate these concepts of high ball, low ball, very simple. If a ball is low, you have to hit it soft. First of all, we're always aiming for the feet. Let's just define where we're aiming. Always aiming for the feet. Always, 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 always. Okay? So when you're aiming for the feet, if you get a low ball, in order to get that ball up and over the net and at your opponent's feet, you're going to have to hit soft. Why do you have to hit soft? Because gravity will drop a slower moving object much faster than a fast moving object. Think about a bullet. You shoot it out of a gun. It doesn't stay technically in a straight line, but it stays straight for a very long time. You give me a bullet and I throw it, it's going to drop relatively quickly. Okay? It's not going to stay in the air very long. Okay? You got I was going to say something that might seem silly because I actually don't know if this is true. Can you shoot a bear at 50 cal? Can you shoot that in a mile? I'm not sure. But if you could, okay, You're going to shoot that bullet. It's going to stay in the air for an entire mile. Okay? There's no way it's a mile, right? However long it is, it's going to stay in the air for a really, really long time. But if I threw that same thing, it's going to drop within, I don't know, 10 yards, 20 yards. Um, Slower moving objects drop faster. So if we need that ball to get up and over the net, we hit the ball soft. If we hit the ball soft, that implies that we're hitting slow. Okay? That means that's going to get the ball up and drop the ball over the net. Okay? If you get a low ball, you have to hit soft. Have to, have to, have to. No matter what, hit soft, aim for the feet. If you get a high ball, that's when you get to hit hard. We don't hit high balls soft. We don't hit balls above the net at contact. We don't hit those soft. That's a mistake. We always hit those balls hard, aiming for the feet if we can. Okay? Advanced level concepts, when you're speeding up at somebody at the net, you're not going to be able to hit their feet. If you could, that'd be great, but you can't because the net's protecting it. Okay, so advanced level concept, then you start picking spots, but other than that, you're always aiming for the feet. Always, always, always. Just for right now, unless you understand what I'm saying. If you don't quite understand what I'm saying, you're not there yet. Your goal is the feet every single time. Okay, if you can do that, you're going to win a lot of pickleball. High ball, low ball. Always aim for the feet. High ball, low ball. If you could incorporate that into your game, plus ball accuracy, that's a little bit. Pickleball is ball accuracy and strategy. Okay, knowing strategy, knowing what ball to hit, when to hit it, where to hit it. Okay, that sounds complicated, but it's not. It's really aim for the feet, high ball, low ball. That's what it is. I'm telling you. Okay, so if you have that, you have high ball, low ball. Okay, plus aim for the feet. That's all the strategy you need. Probably to like a 4 or 5 level. People talk like, oh, like what about transition? Like all about these other things. It's all high ball, low ball. It is. When you hit a third shot drop, what are you aiming for? The feet, right? People say the kitchen, but is the kitchen at your feet? Yeah, it is. You're aiming for the feet. Okay? Then you're moving up. Okay? So like there's micro um there's micro points in there, or like micro tweaks, but really it's high ball, low ball. It's aim for the feet, high ball, low ball. That's really it. And if you can incorporate that, you can get to a 4 or 5 level before you start getting into like super advanced strategies and stuff like that. Okay. Then you got to add in ball accuracy. So you have the strategy component we talked about. Then you've got to have the ball accuracy component, right? You actually have to be able to hit that ball. Strategy, what ball to hit, where to hit it, when to hit it, right? Sorry, what ball to hit, where to hit it, when to hit it, then ball accuracy, being able to hit that ball. I would say people's strategy outpace their ball accuracy quite a bit, and I think that's true at the pro level. There's balls we know to hit and where to hit them, but we're not able to hit them. That's just, and I say we like I'm a pro, I'm not a pro yet. That's just kind of the way it works. Okay, so you need to be working on ball accuracy as much as you possibly can. And then start to incorporate your strategy. But your strategy is going to outpace your ball accuracy. If it were me, I would be drilling and hitting on a ball machine. Almost everywhere that has a facility now has a ball machine, from what I've seen. If not, ask your facility when they're going to get one in. You need to get on that ball machine and be able to hit your ball accuracy, or start working on your ball accuracy. Or if you don't have a ball machine, use a partner. It's not as efficient, but it's efficient enough. Okay, if it's efficient enough for the pros, it's efficient enough for you. Okay, so that's where you're going to make your money, is ball accuracy and then incorporating strategy over time. Okay, really good work today, guys. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Happy to answer them. I try to answer every single comment. And make sure you're tuning in to our other streams. If you're on YouTube right now, make sure you follow us. If you're on Twitch, make sure you hit that follow button as well to be notified when we go live, because when we go live is when you can actually come in, ask questions, get your questions answered in real time, and then you can also, we're going to create a way for you to actually be able to submit your own videos, and we can probably walk through them on stream. So yeah, guys, until next time,